Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is Cardboard Coach Neil. I had a lot of fun doing the first video about player collections, and that was Willie Mays. So I wanted to do another one. Um, there's a handful of players that every collector, in my opinion, should have a card of. It's not Ruth and Cobb, and when I say a card of, I'm talking about playing day cards. Not everyone can have a Ruth or a Cobb or Walter Johnson or uh, things along those lines, but there's players along those lines. But there's a handful of players and that are hobby legends, hobby greats, baseball greats that you should have a card of. And as you can tell from the thumbnail, everyone should have a Mickey Charles Mantle card in their collection. Mickey Mantle, to me, is the biggest name in the hobby. I don't know if there's ever going to be anyone that surpasses his name in the hobby. I mean, he was a great player, no question. 500 home runs, the championships, the MVPs, the pinstripes. I mean, Mickey Mantle. Even the name, Mickey Mantle is such a baseball name. But when it comes to the hobby, Mickey Mantle cards, put it this way, it's always fun getting cards in the mail for mail days. It's always fun to buy cards at a show or to win on eBay or an auction house. But when it's a Mickey Mantle card, it's always something just a little bit sweeter. And, I've always wanted Mickey Mantle cards when I was a kid before I got my first one. And I don't have a whole slew of Mickey Mantle cards like some guys out there. I have what I have. And I'm going to show those to you right now. Okay, so I have the camera turned around. I want to show you what I have from Mickey Mantle. And some of these are going to be, attainable for everyone. So if you're looking for a playing days issue type Mickey Mantle, you're going to be able to maybe have some good ideas here. Again, I don't have, all these Mickey Mantle items, but I got some good stuff. And let's take a look. The first one, I've talked about these before, and this is J Publishing. This is, 1961 through 1965 is what they call it. But I've seen other issues. I mean, I've seen other J Publishing with different poses. So again, I'm still trying to figure out what, how that goes in terms of, are there variations? I don't know a lot about J Publishing. All I know is they are cool. They're slightly oversized and they're definitely affordable for a unique image of Mickey Mantle. So I'll just put that right here. Here's the same image. I also have Yogi Berra, but this is a 1965 J Publishing postcard. These things only came out in 65, and the 65 postcards, they are a little bit tougher. They're not expensive, but they are a little bit tougher to find. So that's another good option right there. And this is one of my favorite sets. I'm kind of working on a Hall of Fame run. And I've been doing so for 15, 20 some years. But this is a 1967 Dexter Press Mickey Mantle. These things are fantastic. Beautiful color, great image. Look at that card. I'm not a huge Yankees fan. I do respect the organization. I would probably root for the Yankees most likely over every other team, not the Phillies, but the Yankees are playing the National League in the World Series. I'm probably rooting for the Yankees, just because it's just such a great organization, chock full of legends. Not just in the hobby, but in the sport itself. But this is a 67 Dexter Press. Here's the back, just a nice little write up. I'll put that in here. So Mantle, was 3-time MVP winner. This is a 1962, one of his MVP years. This is a post-serial panel. This is Mantle and Roger on the other side. This is the perforated version. It's Just a really, really cool piece. Hold on, let me just flip it back. Got the nice logo over here. And basically, if you look in, you can see the perforation where you're supposed to cut those out. And each one of those would have something on the back. I believe the other ones, there are some other ones that were not the perforated, that are just blank, just cardboard back. I just really like this one because it's still unperforated. It's, I guess, decent high grade for this type of thing, but that's a Mantle piece. I'll put that right here. These are in no certain order. This is my first ever Mickey Mantle card. I got this from my aunt, also my godmother. Christmas, I want to say 1981 or 1982. It's in a new holder. It was in an old SGC holder, but this is my first Mickey Mantle card ever. And I was ecstatic getting this card at Christmas. Beautiful, 64, very underrated design. Love the red Yankees, just everything about it. This card has pretty good centering. Just a great image of Mickey. Nice back. 64 tops, Mickey Mantle. Let me just put that back up. 1957. Another MVP season. Beautiful color on this one. So there are some nuances with the 57 set. They're not really recognized as variations, but tops, this is the first standard size card. They also use Kodachrome photography for the first time. So I think they were kind of tinkering with color. So sometimes you can find Mickey Mantle cards that are a little bit duller in appearance. This, you can, he has some good flesh tone here. And in the background, besides the ghost of Babe Ruth, which is part of the reason I love this card, as a kid, I thought it was real. You can see someone photoshopped out of that. But this has like more of the bluish greenish tint to it, which I'm going to say this was probably fresh off the printing press. Sometimes you see these Mantle cards and other 57 tops that are a little bit duller in color, more of a brownish tint, for lack of a better way to explain it. But if you look on eBay or if you have a number of 57 tops in your collection, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But this is a really, really nice example of a 1957 tops. On the back, it's got all his MVP, Triple Crown statistics from the year before. That's a great card. Here's a card, and I showed a couple that are affordable, as you can see in the background. 57 might be a little bit tougher in that type of grade for everybody, but over here you got some easily affordable cards, including the Dexter Press and maybe lower grade cards of what I showed. But this is a card that I think is one of his best. It's the 58 All-Star. This was triple printed. Okay, so you're going to have a lot to choose from because this is a very, very popular card. Beautiful design. This subset, the 58 All-Stars, it may be one of the best that Topps has ever put out, in my opinion. But because these are plentifully, in short, triple printed, I should say, they're plentiful. And, you can really take your time and find one without any kind of circles or print circles. What I call them something different that won't be repeated on this channel. But sometimes they're chock full of those things. Centering is also an issue, but this one is pretty clean. And I'll tell you what, it's a 3. I got this, I think like 2 years ago. And, had I graded this maybe 10 years ago, this may have been like a 6. You just never know. But that's a card that everyone should take a look at. And that's the 58 All-Star Mickey Mantle. And here's a really, really nice, different type of piece. This is the 1953 through 55 Dorman postcard. He has 2 different postcards for Dorman. This one is cool because you can kind of see that the 53 patch on his sleeve. And this is, He has this one, which, a lot of people call the bat on the shoulder. It's not it's not stated that way on the flip, but he also has a batting stance one, which is a great card too. I do not own that one. It's, I have thought about picking that one up maybe at some point down the road, but these things have started to kind of appreciate and move up a little bit, but they're still, like, this one's a couple $100, and it's an early Mantle, and with a great image, very young Mickey Mantle. And if you can find something like this that looks in this type of shape for a couple $100, it's certainly an option rather than getting some of his like a 56 tops. I wish I had one of those. I think 56 is one of his best cards. But this is my favorite. I showed this before. This is my Mickey Mantle pickup from this year. That's the Red Heart. I'm working on this set in, like, VG type grade, maybe 5. This is a little bit higher than I wanted to not only spend, but also in terms of condition. But I saw this card and it just blew me away. It's just perfect. That little white thing up there is on the outside of this sleeve. But just beautiful, beautiful blue color on that. Really accentuates the hat. Just a great looking card. That's the Red Heart Mickey Mantle, 1954. Such a great set. And I am working on that. So we'll see. Let me just somehow get this back in there. And here we go. I've shown this one before. This is the 1950 to 1970 Rawlings. I had this car, so I looked for one of these for a while, and I bought a Beckett one. I sold it because coincidentally, this other one I was bidding on another place at this, and I didn't think I was going to win it, but I won it, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to have to sell one of these things because I can't have two. And Matt, a YouTube channel, a guy I know on Facebook, friends with a number of channels. He was looking for one. I gave him a nice deal on it. And, but this is just a great image, and I just like this kind of stuff. It's just kind of off the beaten path. And Mantle from, I think for these Rawlings Advisory, as you can see down here, I think he had 3 cards. And this one, a lot of people say was from 59. That may have been when it came out, but there is no way. To me, this photo was taken in the early 50s. I could be wrong, but he looks a little bit younger than he would have in 1959. But that's a great card right there, or giveaway, or whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's going to fall, so I'll just lay this on up here. And my final piece is the 1958 Holiday Inn Mickey Mantle postcard. These were, so Mickey Mantle, just a quick little story. He was a businessman from Kansas City. I think, not Kansas City, from Joplin, Missouri. I'm sorry. Presented him with an idea to be a partner in a Holiday Inn. He agreed. So they really used Mickey Mantle's image and his likeness and his persona and his celebrity, everything about it to kind of promote the hotel. And as a postcard guy, I just like this card. And postcard back. And I don't know if you can see that in there. This is actually a Dexter Press. So Dexter Press did a lot of stuff with Major League Baseball. But the Holiday Inn Mickey Mantle postcards, they're getting pretty popular. People are really liking kind of the oddball type of things, and I would certainly classify this as unique. But there you have it. That's my final piece for now. Again, I can't say I'm done with Mickey Mantle, because it's always fun getting a Mickey Mantle piece in the mail. So, hey, I appreciate everyone watching. Collect what you like, buy what you can afford. You can't go wrong. Until next time, we'll talk.